Well, hello, Creative Connection Club crew. Thank you for joining us tonight. First of all, before I introduce our awesome guest that I am so excited to have on here tonight, and I'm going to paint with her too, which is like, woo! I want you guys, when you come on, please say hello. Let me know where you are watching from. And you know, I always ask, what's your weather like? So I'm in New Hampshire. Weather was actually pretty awesome today, like 65. I'm not sure what was going on. Super crazy. But before I introduce our guest, I just want to thank everybody that tuned in this week and supported our guests without me for the last week. I have been super sick. Just so you know, I know some people are on my private Facebook. My husband had COVID. I never tested twice, no COVID. But of course, I get an upper respiratory infection because, you know, that's my world. So luckily, everybody's been going on without me and doing their lives. And I'm just super excited because I really did not want to miss painting tonight. So without further ado, I want to introduce Cynthia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cynthia Chandra. I'm from Cynthia Chandra Nature Art for Animal Rescue. And what I do is paint and I teach classes and I also offer virtual assistant services. So if you need help setting up your website or editing photos or what have you, I can help you with that. And my biggest passion is animals. So most of my pieces are animals, and I donate 10% to animal rescues. And then I also do emergency auctions. So if there's, for example, when there was the bushfire, when there was the wildfires in California, I do 100% auctions to help support them with animal rescue. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. You know what I mean? I feel like if everybody just cared a little bit, it's amazing how, you know, the world would be. Like, I know you have a young child and I have an autistic child who's like having a young child. And it's amazing their innocence of caring and loving. And I always say, I wish everybody was like an innocent child and treated the world like that, because our world would be such like a better place.
It really would be so much better.
Yeah, it would be. All right. So tell us a little bit about what we're going to do tonight besides partake.
Cheers! We were just talking before this that both of us actually painted our glasses.
Yeah. So I know that there's, I think one of the girls that worked for me for Drinkable Arts is going to be on here tonight, and she probably has some of her margarita glasses around. Well, you got your margarita glasses out? But yes, we both painted ours. That's fun.
Fun things.
Yes.
So tonight we're going to do a beach scene, and we're going to do it with watercolors. So if you have like a kids watercolor set, that's totally fine. You can paint it with a kids watercolor set. Tonight I'm going to be using my watercolor set, which is tubes. So it might be a little different than you're used to if you bought the tubes to do it with me. What you're going to need.
You did? I got the tubes. I'm all excited.
So what we're going to do tonight is you're going to need like a little glass of water, probably something you can throw away or use over as your paint glass. Don't confuse the two. Rule number 1, don't dip your paintbrushes in the margarita glasses. Okay, friends? And
not many times.
You'll just need some of your smaller brushes today. And then you'll need one. So there's difference between brushes. You can have round brushes. Ooh. There, we'll focus.
I love it when it does that. It's like, ooh,
yeah.
It's like the Star Trek warp. I see a fan brush in there.
Yes, I have a fan brush. You don't have to have it though if you don't.
I know, because I think all I have is a large fan brush.
That's fine. So we are gonna need like a thicker flat brush too for our water today. All so right. If you get your supplies together.
Let me get started. I'm all behind. I should have just been paying attention, damn it, before we got on.
Totally fine.
It's the margarita.
Oh my goodness. So I was just looking at your beautiful furniture that you've been painting. It's so pretty. I love what you're working on.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Coming from you, that's a huge compliment. You're quite the artist. Thank you. All right. So just to let you guys know, I'm going to paint along with her. But what I'm probably going to do is I'll kind of go in the background into this tiny little cube area. And then I'm going to put Cynthia's art cam big so that you guys can see it. And guys, if you have questions, go ahead and ask them, because I am going to monitor the questions so that Cynthia can keep teaching and we can kind of go along together. And no judging, guys. This is my absolute first time doing watercolors. Absolutely. Well, except with Vinny, but it's a totally different thing when you're doing it with Vinny.
It's more so mess control than anything else.
I'm going to move our stuff around real quick, guys. Bear with me. And I got to get, whoops, I did the wrong thing again. I did it the last time, remember? We were getting this all, there we go.
There we go. It's the cutest
Everybody, hello when you come on, and let's get painting.
Yes. So I can't see comments. So if they ask a question, will you let me know what they are?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the first thing that we're going to be painting is our background. And for our background, we need to have a straight line. So if you have a pencil, it can be any pencil, doesn't have to be special. You're just going to pick where your horizon line is going to be, which is where the ocean touches the sky. If you have it up,
prepared student.
What's that?
Pencil. I brought a pen. I don't know why I brought a pen and not a pencil. What kind of a student am I? Guys, I'm already failing the class. I just started tonight. Oh, all right. While you keep going, I'm going to run real quick and grab my pencil.
Okay, so after you get your horizon line drawn, you're going to erase it for half of your paper. Sorry if my camera's shaking a little bit as I erase.
All right, I got it. So I'm going to draw my horizon line. All right, let me see this. I'm drawing the horizon, just a straight horizon line?
Mm-hmm. And then you're going to erase half of it.
Well, of course it's not straight because does it matter which side?
Nope. Here, let me make it a little darker so you guys can see mine.
Oh, I see. Okay. Guys, I'm using the trick that we do for my son when he paints watercolors because he pushes too hard and the paper goes flying. So I have an old mailer that I stick behind here. That's my handy trick for the evening.
One thing that I do too is I take tape, like masking tape, and just tape it down to my surface, and then it doesn't slide all over the place.
Of course you do. Of course you think of
these. Now I have weights weighing it down.
Oh, right, so okay. There we go.
The next thing we're going to draw is our bluffs. So it's just going to be kind of like a rounded mountain mound. So if you need to think about it in a different way, it's like half of a circle that's cut in half.
Okay. Am I doing, obviously not on the side where the line is because that's the line of our water?
Yep.
Okay. Does it matter how many?
So I'm going to do 2. It's totally up to you how many you'd like. I'm going to do them offset from each other so that they're not right one in front of the other. So this one kind of goes
I see what you're
behind it, and then this one goes down in front. And then I'm going to continue this one down the side. So if you were walking to the beach, you'd be walking over here between the blocks.
All right, I think I got this. I do need to erase because
That's totally fine. And one thing that I like to tell people is the reason why I paint nature art is because there are no straight lines in nature art. The more imperfect things are, the more realistic they look. So if your lines aren't straight, that means you're doing a great job.
Okay, got this.
All right, so now that we have our guidelines drawn, we're going to start painting. So the first brush that we're going to need is our flat brush that I showed you earlier.
Got it.
And you are going to need a blue. So the blue that I'm going to use is kind of like a teal blue.
Oh, like cerulean blue?
Yes, so it can be a cerulean, it can be a phthalo, whichever color you have in your set.
I don't even
think about like ocean.
Blue. Do you know what? I think I got tipped. I have no phthalo blue. I have a viridian, which is more of an aqua than.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go with, for me, cerulean blue.
So you're not going to need very much of it Just go ahead and put it somewhere on your palette. I put mine right here.
Okay.
It's just like a little dab. And the thing about watercolors is you're going to want to leave your palette out to dry. If you cover it, it will get moldy, and you don't want that. But if you leave it out to dry, you can always reactivate, we say. So you can use your water to make the color again, and you'll be able to use it later.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm going to take my brush and dip it in my water to get it fairly wet. And then I'm going to dip it into my blue. Now, if you are using like a kit set, you're probably going to need a little bit more water just to make sure you get a lot of color on your brush. But if you're using wet tubes, you should just need a little bit. So as you can see, I have it fairly covered on both sides. And I'm just going to take it across. And it's totally fine if my lines don't line up together while I'm painting.
On the other side. Okay, I see what you mean. Because we're doing the water, right? Yeah.
Yes, we're doing the water right now. So as you're painting, you're going to start losing color on your brush. And when you start losing color on your brush, I want you to take your brush and dip it in the water. And you're going to bring the water down instead of dipping it back in your paint again. And that's going to give almost like an effect of it getting lighter as it gets closer to you and darker towards the horizon. And it's up to you at this point if you want to just have a plain blue shape here for your water, that's totally fine. If you want to take your brush and make waves, you can kind of mess with it a little bit and make some waves in there. This is your chance to just kind of play and have fun with it. I love painting water with watercolors because it's like using water to make itself. So
yeah,
this is your chance to just kind of see how the watercolor works with the colors and just kind of play a little bit. And when you're satisfied with your blue, you can go ahead and really clean out your brush. The way to do that is to tap it on the bottom, and that helps get all of the color out, all the pigment out. And then if you have a paper towel, you can dip it. I forgot to bring one over. So if you have a side of the paper, you can just brush your brush on the dry paper, and that'll help get some of the color out too.
I think I used too much for my tube originally, so it was like a little, yeah. Oh yeah, maybe I did bring it down. Okay, just ignore me. Ignore the woman behind the camera.
It's fun. I love it. I'm used to talking to myself, and I'm like, is anybody out there? This is so much more fun.
Good.
So the next color that you're going to grab is like a darker blue, or if you don't have a darker blue, a purple.
Ooh, I do. All right.
And you're going to put it close to the blue that you just used. And this, you're only going to put like a teeny tiny dab. Like you don't need very much at all if you're dabbing your own watercolor. So I don't think you can even see it on my thing. It's just a really little teeny bit.
Yeah. Okay. I can see it. It's like a pin drop. And I'm using which brush?
So now we're using a round brush. I'm using a size 2. The numbers are on the side of the brush.
Yeah.
You can use whatever size you want. I would use like a smaller size if you have one.
Okay. So, hey, Diana. Diana Boudreaux's on. Hello. Thank you. I was just about to say, when you guys come on, say hello. Let us know that you're in here watching. We would love to have you guys say hello and watch the comedy show, which is Cynthia trying to teach me watercolors. All right.
Okay, so for this part, you're going to use a lot of water and a little bit of pigment, a little bit of your paint. So you're just going to gently tap your water into the pigment, and it's going to draw the color out. Let me bring this up for you to see, hopefully. So I put my water here, and I'm kind of grabbing some of the pigment and mixing them together. So the light blue with the dark blue. purple.
Okay.
And then after you get that on your brush, you're going to dip it quickly into the water, and then we're going to start making some clouds. Now,
Ooh.
clouds are round at the top. You can think of that rounded shape.
Am I supposed to have a water like dripping on my brush?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rounded at the top, and if you want to do a couple of smaller rounds, you can. Now, as we layer our clouds on top of each other, can you still see me? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you layer your clouds, you're going to dip it in your color, then dip it in your water, and then do some more circles. So as you can see, I'm just kind of doing half circles up at the top. I'm letting them get lighter as they get smaller and just painting them over themselves. I have a 4-year-old, so if you hear a little guy talking in the background, that would be my 4-year-old.
Oh, you should bring him on screen. My guy wants to do a live with me. I'm gonna have him teach me how he paints.
Oh, that is so fun. Oh, I should have Alex do that. He's hilarious. He tells you what you need to do.
He is. I've watched your things with him, your videos, and he is actually adorable.
Okay, so now we're gonna add.
They don't really look like clouds. I think my paint's too dark.
Yeah, so if you need to keep adding water, that's how you lighten it up. And you can add water on it once it's on the paper too. Okay. So now I'm going to add the bottoms. And what I'm doing for this is I'm kind of coloring it in, if you can see this circular motion. Okay. You're going to keep going in a circle like that.
I just want you to know that this does not look good. Kind of looks like a 3-year-old's been painting. I'm not gonna lie, I'm embarrassed.
Aww. The fun thing about watercolor though is it dries totally different than what you have. So it kind of appears itself, and you can always come back in and make layers too.
Alrighty. You know what it is? I think that I'm used to working with paints that I want a high pigment from. So for me, it's hard to get to work with a lower pigment ratio because
yes. So I actually took watercolor specifically because I wanted to learn how to have more control, which is funny because you have no control with watercolor. But I wanted to have more control with my lights and my darks. So as you can see, I'm just kind of slowly adding more and more pigment to it. It's fairly wet, and your paper will start to curl a little bit. That's totally normal and totally fine. That's why we put them behind frames and glass, because the glass makes them flat. And then once you're satisfied with your little cloud that you have.
I'm not really satisfied. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Okay. You're going to dip it again in your paint and your water. And the next cloud we're going to do is going to be even lighter than this cloud.
Oh, Lord. And I made like 6 clouds because I obviously don't pay attention to directions.
That's all right.
And yours is like clouds. Mine look like cotton gone bad.
I can't see it. Why don't you put yours big and then I can see if I can help you.
Oh, I don't know if you want to do that. All right, guys, I'm going to do this, but there's no judging allowed. Hey, somebody just come in and said hello. Whoever you are, I can't see you because you have to authorize StreamYard to show your name. So if you go into the description and click on that little link, it'll allow it. All right, so Cynthia, I'm going to bring this over, and there's no judging allowed. So
okay,
can you see it? It's looking a little like elementary. It's the only way I can describe it. Not to mention I have like all these clouds and I'm probably not supposed to have a ton of clouds.
It's okay. So what you have right now, let me draw it up here.
It's a big hot mess. You can just say it. Say it. It's a big hot mess.
I did not say that. So
what you have a margarita?
Some darker. You have lots of darker circles up here, right?
Yeah.
And this. So what you need to do to make it look more like a cloud is to add more water when you're mixing.
Oh, I
And
see.
then you're going to take those colors that you already painted and reactivate them and pull them down. Let me pull this up.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You want to switch me back
I'm
over?
gonna switch you back over now. Nobody wants to see me doing my elementary things. They want to see what you're doing. Okay.
So you have your paints fairly dark here, and you
Yeah,
have a
I'm
very
gonna get a different brush too. I feel like that brush is supposed to be a size 2, but it feels more like a size 1 to me. Okay.
okay.
So I'm thinking that's
So,
part of my issue. I'm gonna blame it on the tools.
so what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull that color from the top down, and you're gonna continue to make those circular motions. And the trick with clouds is to have one side that's smaller and the other side that's larger at the bottoms. So see how I kind of brought this out really small? Because if you think about the wind's blowing it, and
I
there's just like
see.
this little tail coming out.
It still doesn't look like yours, but I get your point. I just have to get it to that point.
Yeah, so you can play with it and get it there. Let me put this down because my water's bleeding on the other stuff. So you also had a couple of clouds that were disconnected from each other.
Absolutely.
So I saw you had like one like this and one like this.
Yes.
So what you can do is you can take a big arc and connect them together over top of it. And then just do the same thing we did before. Get a very wet brush and drag the paint down.
All right. I feel better now that I get that part of it. Oh, yeah. Now they look more like they belong together.
Yeah. And they're
Okay.
clouds, so they don't look the same for very long, and they all are different shapes, different sizes. So your clouds are perfect just however you make them, right?
Thank you. Thanks. I love that this is a no judgment zone. I mean, you guys
Okay.
come on, please say hello so that we can say hello to our friends on here and join and hope you enjoy the circus of what's happening right now.
All right, so after you're satisfied with all of your clouds, you're going to clean your brush out.
Okay.
And remember, you with round brushes, you pull back and twist, and that will keep the shape of your brush as that point. So you can do that on paper towel, or you can do that on scrap paper. And then for our next brush, we're going to grab that flat brush that we used earlier.
I'm not really impressed with my flat brush, to be honest with you. I've had better ones.
This one is, I can't even see. I think this is one of my grandmother's old ones. She left me all the paint brushes.
Awesome that you use her brushes.
Yeah. I think that this is a size 3, I'm guessing.
Oh, mine's a 9. I don't have a flat down here because I don't use them. I never thought about needing it. That's not true. You know what? I do have one, but the problem is I think it may be wrapped in saran wrap with chalk paint on it for the dresser.
Maybe no.
Maybe not use that one. I don't think it's going to work for what we need it to do right now. I'm just saying. All right.
Okay. So what we're gonna need now are some yellow ochres, which is like a light brown. So if you're using a kit set, you're gonna take your brown and mix it with your yellow to make this color. Ooh, focus.
I love yellow ochre.
Like light brown.
I always like yellow ochre reminds me of like that autumny yellow.
Yes.
Like the darker.
Like almost, actually, it's kind of like my shirt, like mustard almost, but a little bit darker. And so if you don't have that color, you can always use yellow and brown and mix them together to make this color. We're making the sand right now, so if that helps you figure out what color we're aiming for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a little bit here on my palette of my yellow brown. And your brush,
a lot of these paints, huh? It's like it's very little goes a long way, huh?
Yeah, so I've actually had this set of paint since I lived in Japan, and that was in 2000.
You lived in Japan?
2012. So how
How is
old is
your
that now?
pan? I'm
It was
jealous.
amazing.
I'm
It
so
was
jealous.
incredible. So I put a little bit on my palette, and you do have a little blue in your brush, which is perfect because there is a little bit of blue in sand. So what you're going to do is activate it just a little bit, kind of like we did with the clouds. So remember, your brush is fairly wet, and you're bringing the pigment out so that you have something to work with. So I did mix my darker, it's called yellow gray, with my yellow ochre. But if you have a little bit of your blue and you want to mix it in, it makes like a perfect sand color. Okay, so after I dip it into my my wet paint over here, I'm going to dip it into my water again. So your brush is going to be very wet. And we're just going to be flicking some color onto here with our brown brush.
So I have to tell you a flicking story. And if any of the girls from my company that I had are on here, it used to be the curse word of drinkable arts. We called it flecking. And we used to make our customers use it like, oh, I love my flecking glass. And yeah, we were those people. And it was like a joke. It was to the point where when people came to our events, they knew that they would be flecking.
That's hilarious.
And it was flecking awesome.
So I'm just kind of going back and forth on both of these, and I'm slowly adding some more water into it as I go down the hill.
I don't think I have enough pigment in my stuff, to be honest with you, because it looks almost too watery to me. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to be bringing it down. So you're just like tapping?
Yep, just tapping it. And then when you like how they look, I think I'm going to bring this hill out a little bit because it looks a little bit booby to me. So
mine look like boobs. So that's why my husband's going to laugh. So I went to this paint and sip thing one night by myself. Just need to get out of the house, right? So I'm like, my girlfriend had one locally, and I'm like, I'm just going to go check out her place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kept sending him pictures, and he wasn't answering me. And then when I got home, I showed it to him. I'm like, look, I want to put this in Vinny's room. He's like, no, you're not. I was like, what? And he goes, you're a really good painter, but that looks like, it looked like it should be in a gynecologist's office. That's all I'm going to say.
It looked like a lady flower.
I hope everybody's enjoying the show tonight. All right. I feel like yours is way better than mine. Well, that would be because you do this all the time. Oh my gosh. I'm laughing because there's people I know watching this, which I'm sure there is, that know me personally. They're probably laughing so hard right now because I am like a serious painter and I am not doing good with this.
Oh. Do you want to put it in the spotlight so I can help you?
Not really. Not
okay.
really. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't think anybody wants to see this in the spotlight right now.
Fair enough.
It's not pretty. And I had to get more paint because I pretty much used all my paint, and it still doesn't look even halfway like yours. All right, let's try this again. Telling you, I am a hot mess right now with this. Okay. And in
preschool, we always said hot mess express.
It just made my water. I had too much blue. I hit the blue too much, so I have green. So I had to abort mission. Hold on. All right. Oh, I'm blaming it on the fact that I've been sick all week. Can we do that?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate that. All right. I just want to touch these up because I feel like they're not as
And one thing you can do if you don't like where it is, you can take a paper towel.
You know what it is too? Believe it
And
or
you
not,
can blot it out.
I think it's because I'm doing it standing up.
It could be.
The minute I put it down, oh, that's actually good because then people don't have to see exactly what I'm painting yet.
So if you don't like it, you can always blot it out
Oh,
with a
that's
towel
awesome.
or a tissue, and you can start over again. It's not going to take all the color out, but it gives you a little bit of leeway if you accidentally mix the blue in or if something weird happens.
Yeah, we're adjusting. You know, we're adjusting. It's coming down. I just realized that it's actually because I'm doing it on the whatchamacallit. You know, that they
Yeah.
use all the time, an easel. But when I take it off and do it, oh, I have so much more control. That's what.
Yeah, because the water likes to run towards the gravity. So
what's crazy is my son doesn't like to use the easel, and he actually got one for his birthday, and I was like, man, why don't you like using the easel? And I couldn't understand it. And then now I get it. I need to listen to him is what I
yeah,
need.
it can be a little hard.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling better about this already. All right. I think we're on the roll here. We're on the mend.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to paint our little birdies while we're waiting for our sand to dry a little bit more. So you're going to need a little bit of black. And you're just going to put a little tiny bit on your palette. I already have black out, so I'm not going to get more out. I'm just reactivating my black.
I'm just trying to. I actually want to blot. I actually like the way the texture that the blotting gives.
It does. It gives it that sand texture, right?
It does. It does. It looks great. You know what's the best part is nobody can see what I'm doing right now. All right, so we're gonna paint birds.
Drawing penises.
What?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Right.
Okay, so.
All right. Alrighty then.
So
okay.
Now we're going to draw our birds, and birds are just a fancy V. So they're kind of round at the top, come down like a V, come back up. So if you want to practice it on the side or on a separate piece of paper, you can. They're just kind of round at the top, come down, and come back up.
Actually, before I do that, I think I want to fix my clouds now that I can actually see why I'm activating. I don't know if you noticed this, but I'm learning the terms.
It's very cool. Look at that.
Pretty soon, I'm going to be a professional. I'll be like your assistant. All right.
So I'm just going to put some birds in there.
I'm just letting you know. This is, I think so I just got to throw that out there. Anybody that knows my son knows he paints. My son actually does watercolors and sells them at my store that my parents are in. And it's called Vinny's Corner. And this is what he does. And I'm pretty sure his are way better than mine right now.
Well, he has lots of practice.
That is actually. He loves to paint. That's what it is. Yeah, that's the ticket. All right. So, those are so cute. You got some cute birds going on.
Yeah. So you can make smaller ones and they'll look farther away, and you can make bigger ones and they'll look closer. Don't look at that bird. That was a funky bird.
Right. Well, I'm concentrating now. You can always tell when I stop talking, I'm concentrating. It's probably the only time.
I usually, when I'm teaching watercolor classes, I have like soothing music in the background. Because it's one of those, it takes a little bit for us to paint. So it's one of those ones that's nice to have some sound.
That's so funny because you do soothing. When I did my classes, I used to put on like a 70s disco.
This is for watercolor. We're soothing with watercolor, and with acrylics, we get crazy.
All right.
All right, so next we're going to add the grass texture to our bluffs that we have here. So you're going to get a dark brown out.
All right, I'm finishing this last bird, then we're dark browning.
So you can get like a burnt sienna, a burnt umber.
Oh, look
I think I'm going to go with
it's
the
actually
burnt.
starting to come together. I'm okay right now. I'm all right now. Anybody who's watching, let you guys know I'm doing better. I'm feeling a little more confident.
It was just the wrong way.
Pretty much. So what am I doing now? I got burnt.
Yeah, you're getting like a darker brown. So I have a burnt umber out that I'm going to be using.
Okay.
Looks black on my camera for some reason. And we're going to use that same tiny brush that we used for the birds.
Yeah.
Or if you have a fan brush, you can use a fan brush for this part.
This is where you're going to bring out the fan brush, aren't you? You are going to fan brush, aren't you?
Yeah. So you can just...
I'm going to use a little round one, guys. So she's going to use the fancy fan. I'll use the round.
I'll show you how to do it with the round first, and then I'll use my fan brush too. So you're just going to get your brush a little bit wet and dip it into the brown. It's going to be pretty dark, so you want to let it be dark. What you're going to do is you're going to start at the bottom kind of thick and kind of pull up lightly as you come up. And you're going to start making some grass. Now, grass blows in all sorts of different directions. If your grass is bleeding into the other, like into the cloud and stuff like that, you're going to have to wait and do this step later.
Okay. I don't think I am. I don't think I got to bleed.
Okay.
When you guys come on, please say hello. In case you're just joining us, I am Cheryl with JJ Bean Designs, and I have my guest tonight is Cynthia, and she is teaching us way better than I'm doing, actually. But she's teaching us how to do watercolor margaritas at the beach. And guys, what's up? It is Friday, you know.
Yes.
Yes. All right, I got to catch up. You're like way ahead of me here. Okay.
So you're gonna add some dark brown ones and some of these light. Use that yellow ochre too. So the dark brown ones will kind of blend a little bit better. They won't be obnoxiously sticking out.
Mine looks like eyelashes. I'm gonna throw that out there.
So if yours look like they're all going the same way, you might want to put a couple going an opposite way. So if you have a fan brush, you can do the same thing with your fan brush. The thing about the fan brush that I really like is doing the small grass, because you can get lots of grass at the same time and it builds up a really cool texture.
It does. I'm almost tempted to grab my fan brush only because I know how well it works for this type of stuff.
Yeah. You can see I'm kind of going in different directions to make it look like grass, because grass doesn't all grow up in a straight line.
Actually, grass grows in like, believe it or not, like almost like a J.
Really?
Yeah. When I do scenery, that's one of the things that I always learned was to do grass almost like wispy J's.
That's fun. I like that. I'm going to steal it.
J's. Woo. Hey, Patty. Patty Davis is on. Hello, Miss Patty.
Hi, Patty.
Patty was one of my lifesavers this week. She had an amazing live.
Oh, that's awesome. What did she do for her life?
This amazing patriotic gnome wreath that I fell in love with and I want. I was literally watching it from my couch. And I was going, I wish I was on here with her right now, painting. But I wasn't, because I had to be that person. All right.
So what I'm doing right now is, you know how some crabs like dig little holes in the sand? I'm just adding a couple of little darker dots in towards like the bottom and throughout the grass, just to kind of give it that fun texture that sand has.
Oh my gosh, mine looks nothing like yours. I just want to throw that out. I'm so glad nobody can see this right now. Thank you, Patty. I am feeling better. Yeah. And I'm laughing so hard tonight right now. I'm having a blast. I'm not thinking very well. And if you guys know how I paint, this is like embarrassing but fun at the same time. So I'm gonna go with it.
So at the top of some of these pieces of grass, you're going to add a little bit of texture, like a couple little dots, to kind of make it look like wheatgrass.
Oh yeah, because wheatgrass has that.
Yeah. You don't have to do it on all of them. With painting, it sometimes is nice to just suggest it on some, and it will make the rest of them look like they also have it. There must be like a big gust in mine because they're all blowing this way.
It still looks way better than mine. That's all I'm gonna say. Mine all start at the same spot. I think that's my problem, to be honest with you. Almost like they got lined up like a chin. So mine looks like a hairy chin. I'm going to show you guys real quick just because I can laugh at myself.
Oh.
Can you guys see my hairy chins? I need to. All right, I know what I'm doing. All right, I got a plan. I looked at Cynthia's at the same time, and I got a plan.
I think too, if you add a couple of lighter ones in there, it'll help balance out those dark ones.
Okay. You notice how Patty didn't say mine looked beautiful? That's okay, Patty. I understand. Mine does not look beautiful. It looks a little verklempt, as I like to call it.
Patty, this will be up for replay. If you have watercolors, you can paint along with us.
Yes, it stays on the group. So while we're doing this, I just want to really reiterate something. So if you guys don't know, Cynthia does teach, and I'm super excited about it. If you guys haven't checked out her stuff, in the description, I actually have a link to a course that she's going to be teaching. Want to talk a little bit about it?
Sure. I'm actually going to be teaching a watercolor class, and we're going to be going through just like the basics of watercolor. So this is kind of intermediate watercolor piece that we're working on.
Thanks.
So
you threw me to the wolves.
No, I'm saying it's not for beginners.
Oh my gosh. So I have to put this up because I know you can see this if I put it up. I just have to put it up. My mouse always tends to want to not work right. This is what Patty put. Can you see it? Thanks, Patty. You're the best.
At least it doesn't look like hairy balls. We have a girl in our group that makes feather balls, and we always say they look like hairy balls.
This is craziness right now. Like, I am kind of disappointed with myself. I thought I would be able to do better. I actually feel like I'm cleaning it up nicely. I'm not going to lie to you, though. I do feel that way. Like, I realized something that I need to do is I need to give them a little more structure, or not structure, should I say.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to be more fluid with it because you can't really control watercolor as much. So, yeah, so I'm going to be teaching a watercolor class, which is going to be a 10-day class. It's going to be Monday through Friday. And there'll be recordings up in the group for you to watch. And I'm going to take you through the basics of watercoloring, and you'll come up with 5 really pretty pieces. So I'm really excited about it. I love teaching painting, and I love doing watercolor. Watercolor is really different from doing regular acrylic or even oil because it's very flowy. So you kind of have to go with the flow when you're painting it.
You
So,
do. You
yeah.
do. And I actually think that I should take your class.
Well,
So
you're welcome to join. I mean, you bought the paint already, so you might as well join, right?
I'm just trying to figure when I would have the time. So I think part of it too is one of the things that I love that you teach is you do teach it step by step and give that. I'm actually going to play with mine a little bit, so I'm just going to throw it out there real quick. So one of the things that I like is that you teach step by step, but you don't like go too fast.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad.
So I got a question up there for you from somebody, if you want to take a look at that. While
The watercolor paper is best for use as a beginner. Okay, so this is a question you actually get a lot. I recommend getting a 300. So when you read the paper, it will say how many fibers are in it. So a 300 is fairly smooth, but it also has that rough texture, which I think watercolor really works well on. So there's a couple of different types of presses you can get. There's cold press and warm press. Cold press is more smooth, and warm press is kind of more bumpy. So what I actually have a list posted. If you click on the link, you can see my list is also up on the link. So you can click on the link. There's a link to my list of watercolor supplies.
a link
And
upon link upon link.
yeah, the link on the link on the link. And you can see I recommend a couple of different watercolor papers. As you get more advanced and you want to have pieces that aren't quite as flimsy as this, you can see the papers kind of bowing a little bit. And you want to have something that's going to last longer, or you want it to be gallery ready, you're going to get like 400 paper. But for now, 200, 300 paper is a really good thickness for starting out as a beginner.
I just realized my flat is a scallop flat, and that's why I'm having trouble with it. You know how they have the scallop flats that give you the ridging?
Mm-hmm.
It's working good for my grass. So look, guys, I want you to know that my chin is not as hairy thin. It's coming along.
Love it. Look at that. I love your birds too.
Oh, thank you very much.
So cute.
All right. I'm pretty excited. This, I think, feel like it's coming along. So, all right, I'm looking at yours. So you have, so I added, for me, I just added, so I had to add some dimension because I felt like my dimensions just went there.
Yeah, so you can keep playing with it. If you don't like something, like I just looked at mine in the picture and I don't like how wide some of mine are. You can always wet it with your brush and then come in with a paper towel or a tissue and blot it out. And that almost erases it and makes it a little bit thinner.
Idea.
Yeah. So right here is kind of like a big blob. So I can just come in.
Can you wet it?
Yep.
Oh, because I have a big eyebrow, so I just want to get rid of that. Hey, Sherry, I'm not sure why it's not showing either, Sherry, but thank you for coming in. Please keep commenting. Now we know who it is.
Who is it?
Guys, I just almost, literally, we almost had margarita and paint.
You almost had a margarita on the beach.
Literally. Right, I'm doing your whole activating, removing thing because I told you I have like that eyebrow, hair, eyelash thingy happening.
It also adds a really
doing sideways too. Like, is that like a liner brush you're using?
Yes, it actually is. It's actually an angled liner brush because I have a tendency to put my hands in things. So
yeah, that looks great actually using the liner brush.
They actually make these specifically for models, for painting models, like inside the little holes. So I got a model brush. It was $10 on Amazon. It was a set of 12, I think. So
that's right.
right?
That's
I
what
love
works,
it.
right?
I also just bought nail brushes, and I
I
put the link for you guys in that link, the link and the link and the link um, to supplies. And they're little nail brushes, but they're so fine that you can really get those tiny details. So after you feel satisfied with your piece,
what if you never feel satisfied? I feel like I need to do a little bit of shading stuff in here.
after you feel satisfied with your piece, I want you to sign it. Even if you don't think it's perfect, you can always come back and try again. What I want you to do is sign it though, because you took time today for yourself to do something you usually wouldn't do. And you had fun.
I did. I had a blast.
So
I'm just trying.
always make sure you sign your piece. And if you don't feel comfortable signing with a paintbrush, you can always just sign it with a pencil or a pen.
Well, I just realized that part of the problem is I didn't bring my sand down all the way. Like it kind of stops mid water.
Oh, so you need it to look like it's in front of the water.
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it, girl.
Another thing you can do is you can bring like a couple in here if you wanted to. Down at the bottom, like there's another bluff over here.
Oh yeah, that's a great. I'm so doing that.
You can just keep playing with it. My problem is I usually don't know when to stop when I'm painting. I just want to keep on going and going.
You know that feeling, girl. I do it all the time. All the time. It'll be hours later, and my husband will be like, I thought you were done painting. Yeah, till I saw that.
I had a professor that always was like, you should have stopped 3 days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I couldn't help it.
It's probably related to my husband.
Maybe.
I'm telling you.
This isn't a private group, right?
It's on my page too.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the last name.
Don't say last name. On my page too. We don't want any. We don't want your professor coming in and cursing us. Everybody's watching right now is going, we want to know names.
Right?
It's okay. Tell us the name. Sherry's like, tell me a name.
So I just found out that Patty lives pretty close to me.
Where do you guys live? I said where I was at, but I didn't ask where you were at. That's pretty rude of me. Where are you at?
I'm pretty close to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm about an hour north of Pittsburgh. And it's a really tiny little town that's situated between two big rivers. So it's really nice because Alex and I can walk to the rivers almost every day. And there's lots of like woods around us. And yeah, it's really pretty. But she lives, is it okay for me to say where she lives? She lives in Ohio.
It's okay for her to say where you live? Address and everything, please.
Okay, give you the house number, give you the zip. No, she lives in Ohio. Or no, not Ohio. Where does she live? West Virginia? But it's very close to here, just right across the border.
Wait and see if she answers and says where she's at. So in my mind, everybody lives near me because I see everybody online. She's at the top of West Virginia, she said.
Oh, so yeah, West Virginia. I just saw really beautiful falls in West Virginia in one of the groups I'm in, and I really want to go there. It's like, it's not big, it's like a pond, but it had waterfalls the whole way around it. It looks so pretty.
So funny. I am actually not too unimpressed with this right now. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to sign it first before I keep going, and then I'm going to keep going. I don't know. Let me see here. Patty, you'll happy to know I don't think they're hairy chins anymore. I don't know what they are, but they're not hairy chins anymore. Are you supposed to date it? I never date it. Do you date yours?
Mm-mm.
I don't either.
You're supposed to. I actually didn't start signing mine until 2019, so all of my paintings before 2019 weren't signed.
All right. So, all right, Pat. Oh, wait a minute.
You gotta put yourself in spotlight.
I'm gonna put Maine real quick, just so I can show Patty, because she'll be proud of my. They're not really hairy chins anymore. Actually,
I love it. That's so cool.
I'm not as unimpressed with it anymore. Like, all right, so I am going to ask you a couple questions because I was looking at, all right, so I'm going to pop you back on here though, because I'd rather, we want to see you. I'm going to put your art up here. Okay, so in my kit, I have a white. What was white for? For like highlighting?
White is for, okay, so there's two types of watercolorists. One type of watercolorist says that you should never ever have white and you should throw it out as soon as you get your kit because you should leave the white of the paper as your white.
Okay.
But
thanks, guys, I'm getting the thanks. Good job. Excellent job. Looks great, Cheryl. All right, and then the other one is me, right? Who has it?
The other group is the ones that accidentally get too dark and they need to whiten it up a little bit or make highlights.
Oh, okay.
And then
metallics too.
Yeah, the metallics are really fun. I really like. So there's going to be a piece in my watercolor class that we're going to do the night sky with metallics, and then we're going to come back in and flick the white. And it looks so beautiful because it looks shimmery, and then it has like the white starries. It's so pretty. I love it. But yeah, so a lot of people will use the whites for highlights, and then they'll use it for dotting. Like, so if you wanted to, you could come back in with white here on like the waves. You could add a couple of waves.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm used to. I'm used to using like so like when I do water, Sherry, thank you. I'm thinking that's you that told me it looks good. I appreciate that. This is my first time ever painting with watercolors. I know that sounds crazy, but
really,
that's
cool.
But, yeah, so I'm used to using like the whites and the different things, and one of the things that I'm slowly started figuring out about watercolor, besides don't paint on an easel for watercolor, is that you have to let the paint give you the graduated colors and the shading and highlighting that you want. And that's hard. Like you said, you wanted to be able to have more control, but the reality of it is you're right. It's not a lot of control with watercolor. It just kind of does its thing and you go with it. And then
so if you look at this painting behind
I'm actually going to put you on the main because I want them to see your artwork. There we go.
So if you look at this painting behind me, I wouldn't have been able to paint this before I started taking watercolor classes because, let me put that up a little higher, because there's so much subtlety in the color movements between them, and there's so many layers that you can really only get with watercoloring. So what I did was I mixed a gel medium with my acrylics, and that kind of makes it thinner, and I could do more layering, and I painted it like it was a watercolor. So I think that taking watercolor classes can help you with other mediums too. Like that's how I think got a little bit better with my acrylic paintings too. But
no, I absolutely agree with you. And I think the one thing too, which would be beneficial. So here's the thing, in our group that we're one of the places we're broadcasting tonight, and on my page, is a lot of furniture painters and a lot of furniture painters that want to blend and they want to do things. And one of the things as I'm working with this is I think that watercolor is a great class for somebody who does furniture painting even to work on, especially if you want to bring it to a different level, because it will give you that, you know.
Yeah, like you can see the different colors of whites blended in with the greens and the yellows and the blues in this. Like that's something that you pick up from playing with watercolors.
Yeah.
But like even if you don't take one of my classes, if you just buy, I think, what was that, like $15 for a set of tubes of watercolor? If you experiment with it, that's a really great way to kind of.
I'm gonna be honest with you. So remember I told you that my son paints. I buy him booklets of paper, like literally, this is my son's paper too, by the way. I just got to show you this. And you were talking about the cold press and all that. I was like checking it out. That's why I kept looking over. I literally buy these by the pack of 5. So because I buy so much, I have a lot of like coupons and like, I guess you call them Michael's dollars.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I got all these Michael's dollars. I'm just going to get me some watercolors. I don't even remember how much it was. I'm like, it's probably going to be free. It's said and done anyway. So that's what I did. So I don't know how much it was, but I think it is. I think it was like $14.99 or might have been $19.99, but I think it was like $15.99.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that just playing with it is really helpful. Even if you get like a kid set of watercolors, just to practice the tones, I think is what it is. It teaches you how to do darker into lighter tones and more vibrant colors into less you know what I'm trying to say. What's that word?
I do. Vibrant colors so that you can get to graduated muted tones to it. I agree. I just had to shout out.
Higher pigment versus lower pigment colors. That's what I was trying to say.
Lydia is on here, and Jess is one of the girls from Retikit who I do things for. So, hey, Jess, check out her stuff. Pretty cool, right? Paintings away, don't you think, girl? Yeah. So, in the description, I do have a link to her Facebook page, a link to her watercolor class. And guys, I think I'm going to take it. I just got to look and see what the dates are. Then I'm going to make sure it works in and around everything. And if not, I'll be looking out for the next one. Because like I said, I think it will up my game. And I think it would up the game of a lot of furniture painters because you learn to manipulate paints that you know what I mean? And once you learn to manipulate one type of paint that you learn manipulations, you can manipulate the other things as well. And it's a lot of fun. And I don't know, is there margaritas? Is there margaritas?
Of course, I'm teaching it. Margaritas is my jam. I had a margarita fountain at my wedding, and it was so epic. We went through 3 of the margarita fountains, and we had to send somebody out to get more margaritas.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, margaritas are good if they're made the right way. That's for dang sure. And I never had a traditional margarita. I'm like a non-traditional margarita. I like mix all different things in them and
it's fun to experiment too.
Yeah,
is Diana watching? I think Diana's taking my class.
She is. Matter of fact, she just posted. I am. So she's watching. She is doing your class. I'm pretty sure. She's like, I'm watching you, girl. Yeah, I am super excited about this. So real quick, guys, I'm just gonna pop this into a different type of screen so we can let me move over. No, which way am I going here? I'm like the other direction. What is up with my camera? You know what it was? I moved it and now I gotta move it back so you guys can see me because I was using the other thing. Jessica, get back to painting. Oh, you have a wonderful night. She's in Vegas. I want to escape and go visit her in Vegas.
Really? Oh, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, Diana just said that her daughter is taking it as well. That's awesome. Oh, wait a minute, Cynthia. I think your art.
I can hear you. I turned it off. So
chat just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, I want you to make sure you go over to her page, check her out. And you know the one thing that Cynthia does as well, and I believe she's going to have a little course on this. I got a little bit of an inside scoop from her about this. Did you know that TikToks for creatives is one of the fastest ways to grow your business?
Yeah.
TikToks for creatives. Crap you not, guys. Crap you not. I can't say the bad words on here. So, TikToks for creatives. I know somebody personally who does creative work. She actually does a lot of vinyl work, and I'm no word of a lie. She has grown her business, tripled it in 2 months on TikTok.
Wow.
So, And I say this, and I don't know how to use it. My daughter's like, just send me all your stuff. I'll do your TikTok for you. And so I had reached out to Cynthia. I said, Cynthia, are you going to teach us at all? Because that's what she does. And
Yeah.
she said she is building it now.
I just started, what was it, like a month ago? A month and a half ago? I had 1,000 followers in 10 days. So far in like the month and a half, I've sold 15 paintings there, and I've incurred 6 students that are regular students every week for me. So it's pretty awesome if you're creative.
So I will give you guys the deets on it as soon as I have it from her. But don't be afraid of it. I know I'm not saying this because I'm so petrified. Jessica's like, it is crazy. Girl, it's so crazy. Like, I watch these creatives on here and I watch everything they're doing, and it is amazing. And Cynthia being one of them. Actually, I joined TikTok because of Cynthia. Anything with it because I'm just not sure what to do with it. So I'm going to let her explain to me how to use TikTok.
There's actually, so I have a free page that's a studio. It's called The Studio.
Yeah,
and we just
I'm on it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So
I
yeah,
just
I did a challenge on there with it. So if you guys join that page, it's free. It's a 5-day little pointers for getting started on TikTok. So if you're interested.
All right, guys, The Studio. If you go to her page, which is in the links, and go to the groups on there, you'll see it's a group attached to that page. That's how I found it, actually. And join it. She does have a lot of really cool things on there. And we all know that I've been sick, so I'm just now getting back to the swing of things. So I will probably be a latecomer to her TikTok learning. But guys, I'm just telling you, like, keep joining the group. Keep looking at the group. We're going to be having more people like Cynthia on. Just to let you guys know, the next live that's going to be scheduled, I'll be putting out in the next couple of days, is going to be myself. It's going to be in the group only. So if you want access to it, you do need to join the group. And it is going to be how to start your sublimation business with zero inventory, no website, but still push yourself out there so that you can have passive income coming in. That's right, passive, meaning like you start it as one of our mentors.
Uh-oh, she's freezing.
I did freeze. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear me now? Yeah.
Okay. So like one of our mentors always says, I'm going to say it again, is do it once, sell it many times. So I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do that, and then go from there. So Jessica said, Cynthia, what is your TikTok? I'll check it out. I'm just learning it too. I'm having a blast.
It is so fun. It's my last name art, so Chandra Art. I'll send it to her and she can put it in the comments for you.
yeah, I'll definitely put it in there. Do you have a link to it on your Facebook page?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to put a link to mine, but mine is literally like pointillisms and different things like that. Somebody said, what day is that? So I have super exciting news that we have going on in our house, which I can't talk about right now. But it's happening next Wednesday, our news, which is St. Patty's Day. There'll be no St. Patty's Day celebrations for us because we're doing something super, super exciting. That's a huge change for our family that I'm not allowed to talk about right now. I'm just giving a little teaser. I'm being a teaser. But I'm going to probably do it on Thursday. So he's like, just tell me. I can't, because if my son is seeing this, it's going to cause an issue. So I'm not sure yet what day that will be, but I will announce it and I'll make an event for it and you guys can all join it. I want to make sure everybody joins in. So join the Creative Connection Club if you're not on there already, but I'm going to assume if I can't see you, Sherry, on here, because I know Sherry's in my group and that's where it is. So join the group, and that's the only place that you'll be able to see it, which is a Creative Connection Corner, which is in the links up above. It's going to ask you to go to my website and sign up. Just put it in there that you saw my live tonight with Cynthia. Just put Cynthia Watercolors, and I will accept you through the group. You don't have to go through the whole website. But all right. So I know one thing that Cynthia and I talked about before I came on here tonight, and I'm actually going to egg her onto this. I'm going to do a challenge with her.
Uh-oh.
Girl. So
okay.
son that wants to do a live with me. If you guys don't know, I have a special needs son who does watercolor. He's been begging me to do a live. He actually says, I want to be a movie star on Facebook with you.
Aww.
He says, he's so stinking cute. So Vinny wants to do a live. So I'm going to do a live with Vinny teaching me how to paint. And I know that Cynthia has a son that would love to do it too. So that's my challenge, Cynthia. I think you should do a live with your son and broadcast that everybody see us having fun with our kiddos and how awesome art is with them.
Yeah, he loves it. It's usually all over the place, but it's fun.
It's still fun. That's the best part about it, though, because it's not planned. It's just like what it is. Vinny, you kidding? Vinny's going to ask a lot of questions. So Vinny loves geography. He'll be asking people where they're from, what their favorite colors are, you know, like all different things like that. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. You know? Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, I had such a great time with you tonight. I really, really did.
It was exciting.
Good. Again, check out the description. Please follow Cynthia. If you don't join the group already, join the group because there are going to be videos that aren't on the pages and stuff. It'll only be in the groups, guys. So go ahead and join the group, and maybe we can convince Cynthia to come on again sometime. Boy, that was a really cute wink I did. Oh.
It was like eyebrows and everything.
It was The Rock. I don't know if you knew that. I can like, rock a little bit. Anyways. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
Bye, everyone.